Our tour of North Carolina will begin in the mountains with the pine tree. The pine tree is the most common tree found in North Carolina and has played a large role in our state's history. North Carolina harvested pine trees during the colonial and early statehood periods to become the largest producer of resin, turpentine, and timber. The pine trees can be found from the coast to the mountains due to its highly adaptive roots. In North Carolina, there are 8 native species of pine trees, including the popular longleaf, loblolly, eastern white, and pond pines. The soil for our native pines is none other than North Carolina's clay. If you ever dig your fingers deep into the soil, you might notice it's a reddish-brown color. If so, you have found clay. Clay soil is rich in the nutrients of calcium and potassium. It is very acidic on the pH scale with a number of 5 or below. In North Carolina, clay is mined and made into bricks and often used for art. Many artists in North Carolina use clay to make beautiful and unique pottery that is shared all around the country. Also grown in North Carolina's clay is the dogwood tree. In 1941, the North Carolina General Assembly named the flower of the dogwood tree the official state flower. There are 3 species of dogwoods that exist in North Carolina: the alternate leaf dogwood, the gray dogwood, and the flowering dogwood. Dogwood blossoms can range in color from white to hot pink. Interestingly, the bark, flowers, berries, and roots of the flowering dogwood have many medicinal purposes. The bark and roots were used in treating fevers and malaria. The flowers have also made a good substitute for chamomile tea. In the dogwood tree, you might find a Carolina cardinal. The North Carolina Bird Club started the campaign to choose this bird as a state symbol. They promoted the campaign through newspapers, local birding clubs, and schools. In 1943, the North Carolina General Assembly named the cardinal as the North Carolina state bird. 10 years earlier, the state had a different state bird, but only for a few days. A fun fact about the cardinal is that unlike most other bird species in which only the male sings, both male and female cardinals can sing. North Carolina is home to many great symbols like the cardinal, but it became the Tar Heel state during the Civil War when our troops stuck their ground while other states were retreating. General Robert E. Lee said, "There they stand as if they have tar on their heels," talking about the North Carolina Confederate troops. At the time, North Carolina was the leading producer of tar and turpentine, and often referred to as the home of the pines. During the Civil War, North Carolina had more casualties than any other state due to our soldiers' tar heels. The tar and clay agriculture in North Carolina provides our soils with the nutrients it needs to produce many precious stones. In 2003, the second largest emerald ever found was unearthed in Statesville, North Carolina. North Carolina is home to more than 300 species of minerals, but the emerald was chosen as our state symbol in 1973. The most famous emeralds found in North Carolina include the Carolina Emperor, the Carolina Prince, and the Carolina Queen, the largest weighing in at 1,896 carats. Even though the emerald is our state stone, North Carolina did not include its color in our flag. North Carolina's flag uses the same colors as the United States flag: red, white, and blue. The flag is traditionally divided into horizontal bands to keep with a simple design. North Carolina's first flag was created in 1861. Since then, 2 small changes have been made. The important dates on the flag commemorate the Halifax Resolves and the Mecklenburg Declaration of Independence. Similar to our state flag, the Great Seal of North Carolina is a picture that uses symbols to tell a story. In the seal, there are 2 women. The woman on the left is Liberty. Liberty is holding a cap in one hand, representing freedom. In her other hand, she is holding a scroll that has the word Constitution written on it. This shows the relationship between the Constitution and the protection of freedom. The second woman is known as Plenty. She is holding a bundle of overflowing food. The Great Seal also has the state motto written on it that says, "Esse quam videre," which means to be rather than to see. In the North Carolina seal, you can see the state vegetable, the sweet potato featured in the cornucopia. North Carolina designated the sweet potato as the official state vegetable in 1995. Students at a Wilson County school petitioned the North Carolina General Assembly for the establishment of the sweet potato as the official state vegetable. The sweet potato is high in vitamins A and C and is known for being very low in fat. Native Americans were growing sweet potatoes in North Carolina long before European colonization. North Carolina's hot, moist climate and rich, fertile soil are ideal for cultivating sweet potatoes. North Carolina is currently the number one state for the sweet potatoes production, and most production happens in the coastal plain. In the coastal plain, you will also find the Spanish Mustang. The Spanish Mustang was brought to the Outer Banks of North Carolina by Spanish explorers around 1521. The explorers were forced to leave the new land due to low supplies and tension with the Indians. They left behind all livestock. The horses learned to survive by digging deep enough in the sand to find reserves of fresh water from the marshes and eating coarse salt grass. The horses survived all odds and still to this day reside on the beaches of the Outer Banks. South of the Outer Banks, North Carolinians can discover Venus flytraps. These plants are native to North Carolina. The only place in the world that you can see native Venus flytraps in action is in the southern coast of North Carolina. Venus flytrap plants typically catch and digest insects. However, Venus flytrap plants can even catch and digest small frogs. Each trap is only good for 4 to 6 catches. After that, the trap withers, turns brown, and falls off. From the mountains to the coast of North Carolina, you can find amazing treasures buried in our state. North Carolina has over 36 symbols. Try and discover a few for yourself today.